Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the hunt for big red. Oh, I'm excited for this one. I'm here for 28 hours. It's 9 AM now, just gone 9 AM, and I'm on till 1 PM tomorrow. It's the first time I'm fishing free rods here. You know what the target is, you know why we're here. We're on Willow Bank at Todber Manor, and we're here for big red. Now we have got a packed house here today. We've got every single swim is taken, I believe, and yeah, all three rods now are out. I'm fishing two on D-rigs. I've got the left-hand one on a OG fish wafter. I've got the middle rod on a fruit and nut 14mm bottom bait with a yellow topper, and I've got the right-hand rod on a 4.5 foot zig, which is something I've never done down here before. I've never really seen people using zigs down here before, so maybe that could do something a little bit different. It's sort of like halfway out as well, whereas my left-hand rod and my middle rod are both about half a rod length off the far side. So that's where we are. All three rods are out. I've got a GoPro now on a chest mount, so if ever I hook up you can get a sort of like a POV style of me playing the fish, and also at night as well. So it's not just me catching the fish, netting the fish and then showing you guys the fish. You can actually see me playing the fish now as well. I have got some backleading on all three for two reasons. One is if I hook up, I don't want to get tangled over any other line, and secondly, it just pins a line down onto the lake bed, which is a bit more stealthy, just in case there are any fish out there that are sort of like got a 20/20 vision. I don't know, but yeah, that's the approach. We're not spodding over the top. We're just using a mix that I've made up, which is predominantly pellet, but it's also got fruit and nut chops, OG fish chops, and a few boilies in there as well, with some flat spot on there also. And we're just basically putting that in mesh bags and casting it out with mesh bags. We're not fishing over a big bed of bait, because that's what we've done before, and speaking from experience, it's not always produced for me. I'm not saying it doesn't work here, big beds of bait, but for me, in my experience, it hasn't. So small mesh bags on D-rigs, and like I say, I've got the wafter, the bottom bait with a topper, and a zig on. So there we are. That's what we're doing. Like I say, all three rods out, and hopefully we can have a few fish. So just to give you a quick heads up as to where my spots are, my left-hand rod is just to the right of this tree over here. Tom will be laughing here at my magic fingers. Yeah, so I've got one where that tree is, in that gap there in the distance, in line with that. That's half a rod length off the reeds at the back there. Coming across then, we've got this tree here. This is my middle rod, again half rod length off there, and then I've got my right hand rod is a zig, and it's about halfway out over there. It is a bit of black foam on a yellow zig screw. And I just want to quickly say as well, I think that big red is due out. It is now sort of early-ish September. We're actually moving into sort of mid-September now, but it has been really, really hot the last couple of days, really hot, which has obviously warmed up the water. Actually, it's sort of, I want to say, dropped down a little bit now. We're about 20 degrees. We're very overcast. I would say that these conditions are absolutely prime for big red. Every time I've seen it out, based on my experience and the research that I've done on the fish, every time it's come out when it's overcast. And I don't want to give all my secrets away, but what I want to say is, if there's any sort of weather I could pick to catch big red, it's definitely these conditions right now. I've definitely got a favourable swim. This swim in particular is always a swim that I've never fished on, but I've always wanted to. I've always seen people do well on this swim, so I think I'm in peg 1, 2, 3. I think I'm in 5. I'm in 4 or 5. I think it's 5. But it's almost like the point. It sort of comes out. I'll put a map up on the screen now so you guys can see, but it basically comes out into the lake. It's sort of like the middle point of the lake. But yeah, when I turned up this morning, as I was setting up, I saw like 3 fish moving over the back. That's where my rods are now. There's definitely fish out there. There's definitely fish in front of me. They're definitely moving. And because some of them are up in the water, and obviously with the hot weather as well, the warmer water, I think that might be why I've sort of swayed towards having a zig. Right, well, quick update then. It is a few hours later. It's kind of crazy really, because I'm seeing so many fish moving in front of me. Like, since I've been here the whole time, there's just been fish showing. They're showing me exactly where they are. I know exactly where I need to fish, and that's exactly where I'm fishing. But for whatever reason, they're just not taking my bait. It's been quite quiet around the lake. One thing I would say is there's a couple of guys up the end. They've had a couple of fish. And interestingly enough, they are walking around the back like I used to do and scooping bait in over the spot. And that's working for them. So I'm going to keep on with the mesh bag approach tonight and then see how it goes, and then maybe move on to that method tomorrow if we don't get anything. But one thing I would say is I just had a bloody bream. I didn't even know they were in here. That wasn't fun. And yeah, maybe that might mean that I'm going to change my sort of mix. So rather than use that heavy pellet based mix, I might just use mesh bags with like 4 or 5 boilies in. But yeah, there we go. So quick update. I've had one bream, no carp, but they're there. I can see them. The fish are in front of me. It's just trying to catch them. I don't know what to say really. I think this is the most frustrating fishing I've ever done in my life. All day, and I mean all day, they've been putting on an absolute dolphin show right out in front of me. Right over, there was a carp earlier that literally jumped. I'm sorry I say literally. I can't express to you. It was so over my spot, like my bait. It was unreal. Yeah, carp just come straight clean out the water. Big fish as well. Right over my bait, and for whatever reason, just didn't get his head down and feed, I guess. Like I say, all day they've been showing themselves, and the fish are out in front of me. I know they are, and I know I said it earlier, but they really, really are. Typical that every time I get my phone out to film so that you guys can see, they go hiding. But yeah, all day they've just been jumping out and crashing, big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. And it's just so frustrating. I'm just sat here eating what was the leftover scraps of my Chinese from last night, and it really was the scraps. A few chicken balls and some shredded chicken. Alongside, I even managed to dig out some prawn crackers as well, which went down quite nice. And that Nando's peri peri barbecue sauce, oh, I always keep that with me. It's nice that it does go down well. But yeah, I'm just sat here now and I'm thinking, I really don't know what to do. I did take the zig off. I don't know if I mentioned that. I took the zig off because with the fish are evidently up in the water, and obviously I had a zig out right again over where they've been showing, and it was out there for 5 hours and it didn't. There you go. I don't know if you heard that. That's right over my middle rod, like right over my middle rod. That was only a small one, but oh yeah, I don't know. Where was I? Oh, zig. Yeah, it was out there for about 5 hours, and I think that if the fish were going to take it, they would have taken it. They didn't, so I just felt like it wasn't very effective. So I've decided to put all 3 on D-rigs basically now. We just had a load of rain, the temperature's dropped, and hopefully that's going to get the heads down, but they are still jumping up and showing over the spot. But yeah, so middle one, still out to that, still out to the rushes. The right hand one that was on the zig, that's out to the rushes as well. One is on, let me show you. Oh, actually, I've got a clip, I'll put it on screen now. It's a hardened hooker, fruit and nut, with, it's cut in half basically, with a pineapple fluoro orange pop-up on the other half as well. So it almost acts like a wafter, just because it gives it that bit of colour, that bit of orange. Might be something different, you know. I've been using the OG fish wafters, and obviously the bottom baits with the yellow toppers. Now we're trying orange. Oh, it's it's one of them sessions where I'm just trying loads of different things to try and make it work. And like I say, the most frustrating thing is, and it really is frustrating, is the fact that the fish are there. How do I nail them? How do I nail them? Yeah, we're moving into early evening now. I will update you before I go to bed. Hopefully with a fish. But yeah, I don't know. I need to try and find... I need them to drop down. I just need them to drop down. Well, just like I said, as soon as you start filming, the fish start hiding. That's exactly what happened. I did get a little bit of footage of a fish. I think it was the same fish, just kept moving. Not on my spot, it was to the right of my spot, but he was still there and he was still showing. But yeah, they've been coming fully out and stuff, but I need them to get their heads down and take the bait. I don't know what to do. Again, we're just going to hope that the cooler temperatures overnight tonight might make them drop down, and hopefully we can get on them. And if we have a few tonight, I'll be very happy, but it's just the one that we need. Wow, it's good to see. Some guy 2 swims down from me has hooked up. He's into a fish. That's a promising sign. But because I think big red is due, every fish that I see getting caught now, I'm nervous and I'm on edge. I don't mind other people catching it, but not when I'm here. When I'm here, I'm catching it. It's wiping out this other line. It's in the net. Good lad. Well, it's not orange. Hey, here we are. Look at this. Oh. Was that the moorhen? Yeah, that was middle rod. Which makes me think it was the moorhen, because I'm not backleading there now, am I? Hopefully the ducks don't wake me up in the morning. Look at all these little fish down here, look. 2312 over there, apparently. Well, they're doing it. Again, they're rolling over the spot. Oh, one just popped up over here and it just rolled. Mirror carp. And now I've got the camera out. Oh, there we go, there's a little one. Just rolled here. This is, honestly, this is... I've never been so frustrated fishing before in all my life. Even like at St. John's, it was very similar because the fish were out in front of me. But I managed to catch them in the end. But here, it's just so frustrating. Right, so I said I'd do a quick update before I turn in for the night. And the update is, no update. The fish still in front of me, very much jumping over my spots, over my baits, over my rigs. Not feeding. Well, I say not feeding, not picking up my rig, not taking the bait. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah, really tough going. I did have another bream, however, so I've had 2 bream. Not that that's anything to talk about, but... yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we can have 1 or 2 in the night. If not, then we'll have to just try and crack on tomorrow. Try something a bit different and... yeah, I don't know. I just think whilst the carp are there, they're in front of me, they're on my spot. I'm just wondering what I'm doing wrong. Good morning. I honestly cannot believe it's not butter. No, honestly, I cannot believe I don't have a fish to show you guys. I've not had any carp. I had 2 bream yesterday. I can't put my finger on it. I can't explain it. The conditions couldn't have been better. The fish were in front of me. My casting was on point. I can't explain why I haven't caught a fish. Last night, I said to you yesterday about being a bit of a dolphin show out there. Last night was a dolphin show on steroids. Honestly, they were jumping, they were boshing, they were sucking in the reeds, they were there. Like, honestly, it was so loud and noisy out there. There were so many fish out there. It was keeping me awake. I don't know what to do. I genuinely do not know what to do. You know, I spoke to my good mate Tom, and he said, you know, if the fish are there and you're casting on them and you're not catching them, it's just a case of they're not taking your bait. And I don't think he's wrong. It is the most frustrating fishing I've ever done in my life. But this has been the most frustrating. I'm not angry. It's just very like hard to understand why I'm not catching. I guess if the fish just don't want to feed, they don't want to feed. But yeah, I've redone the rods. I was going to walk around and put some bait in, but I opted to spom out instead, just because I could get the rods out quicker. I didn't want to waste time. Middle rod just pulled up. But yeah, I didn't want to waste too much time. I wanted to keep the rods in the water for as long as possible. So yeah, rather than reel in for 10 minutes, walk around, bait up, walk back again, I thought, well, let's just get the rods out and get spods over the top. Who knows, the fish might react to that. They might hear the splash of the spom and they might think it's time for breakfast. So hopefully that does happen, but I put 5 spoms out on each rod. And yeah, it's just that pellet and boilie mix. And hopefully something changes. But we've already had a little pull up on that middle rod, which is interesting because I've just put the spods out. Well, it's about 8:45 now in the morning. Yeah. Let's hope we can have one before we go. We're on till 1. Well, we did have a little bit of rain last night. I don't know if you can see how wet the bivvy is, but again, the Fox Easy Shelter Plus has done it again. It's held up. It's done me proud. And actually, apart from the little odd beep here and there, I had a good night's sleep. I cannot believe, and I know I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again, I cannot believe I've not had a fish. The guys down the end had a nice ghost carp last night. I didn't hear anything from peg 1 or 2 or 3 last night, but my neighbour Andy, he had a fish last night, 18-pound mirror. He was super happy with that. Just caught it mid-water, which is nice to know, because it's nice to know that you can catch them mid-water as well as up against the far bank where everybody tends to sort of fish. But yeah, I don't know, it's baffled me. It really has baffled me. I was very happy with this peg, but in hindsight, I've only actually really caught fish from here in peg 1 and peg 10. And even on this trip today, it seems like they're the 2 best pegs. Yeah. well, I don't know if you can see the ripples in the water, guys, but a fish has just shown straight over the spot again. I hope it's not going to be another day of this. But they're there, and there's bait out there. Now there is a lot more bait out there. Get down and feed. Well, here's the rig that's going out next if one of my rods does go off, and I do need to rebait. Fruit and nut hardened hooker with a white topper. I have been using yellow. This is a white topper. It's that on that D on the back of that hook. Sits up like that. And it's as simple as a bit of fluorocarbon with an anti-tangle sleeve. Well, it is now about midday, 10 to. I've got about an hour left. Just one of them sessions, I just think, well, I don't know what I think, to be honest. I know I've said it multiple times, but I'm going to say it again. The fish have been in front of me. They've been showing and splashing. And every time I put the camera on to show you guys the fish moving over the spot, lo and behold, they go missing, they go hiding. I just come off the phone to Dave, actually, and he was like, oh, did you get any footage of the fish moving over your spot? Because I was talking about how much they're going mental, how much they're jumping out there. And I was like, but every time I put the camera on to show the video, they literally go hiding. It's typical, isn't it? But he said, oh, how are people going to know they've been moving over your spot then? And I said, well, why would I make it up? Because if anything, that makes me look bad. If I blank and the fish aren't there, I can just say the fish aren't there. But I don't need to make that up. I'm going to be honest with you. The fish are there. I just can't catch them. And it might make me look bad, but I don't care. I'm just being honest with you and saying it how it is. Yeah, I think in my whole time carp fishing, I think this is the most frustrating session that I've had because I just don't know the answers. I don't know what I've got to do to try and get one of them fish on my bait. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this video, I think. I'm sorry that it didn't turn out the way that we wanted it to. I know when I sort of blank, it's not great for you guys to see because you don't want to see blanks, but remember, I'm the one fishing here, I'm the one doing it, so I don't like it just as much as you don't like it, but it's fishing and that's how it is. I can't answer it. The conditions are prime, the fish are in front of me, I just can't catch them. That's how it is. But yeah, thanks for watching this one. Please tune in next week because it's going to be a banging session. Hopefully next week. I thought this was going to be a banging session, but next week it will be because I'm doing a 48-hour at the famous Berners Hall, one of the hottest UK carp day ticket waters. So that's going to be awesome. Hopefully we can change some fortunes and have a few fish there. But yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next Saturday at 6 PM. Bish, bash, bosh.